Yo, hello and welcome to my first official YouTube guide. I picked a very nice replay from the recent Watchers League, and I want to go into this replay because I feel like this build is very powerful and it's also not that hard to execute. So let's get right into it. I'll talk you through and show you the build order basically. So the build order is going to be a bio build, triple command center. You start off the game with making a depot right here, and yeah, then you go Reaper fast expand by going into barracks afterwards, and then you take the gas. So barracks, then the gas, and then you wait until the barracks is done. You of course continue to build SCVs. By the way, the build order will be in the description and the replay as well, so that you can write it down. In this case, we want to scout after the barracks is done. The reason you scout after the barracks is done is pretty simple. You just want to make sure the opponent is going hatch first. Then as well you start the Reaper and of course the command center. The next building will be a supply depot. And then you continue making SCVs and you start making a factory. In the meantime, the SCV will be able to scout. And with that, we can confirm this is indeed hatch first, nothing to worry about. So we get a marine and a factory. And very important with this build order is that you don't take this gas, not yet. So I'm not taking this gas to make a third command center earlier. And since we scouted it was hatch first, we can just get the add-on, the reactor straight away. And then at the same time, the Reaper can cause a little bit of trouble. Getting a Zergling kill or even a drone is always nice, but always keep in mind the Reaper is not a unit to kill stuff, it's a scouting tool, so don't try and kill no matter what. That is not gonna pay off. In the meantime, I gathered enough resources to make a third command center, and then also my second command center finishes, and the factory of course. Now the Reaper is going to scout the third base, and this is a very important scout. If the opponent is taking a third, he's playing pretty normal, but if he doesn't, then you have to be a little careful. Even here, I lose my Reaper, but I see the drone walking towards the third. So I know it's probably gonna be a macro game. I'm not expecting any roach kind of pressure. After the factory, I swap add-ons of course, and I build the starport. Then I start helium production, and then I take my second gas. This is very important in this build. So first you swap add-ons, then you make starport, then you take gas with this build. If you go for a fusion core build, which you can also do, then you need the gas earlier and you need to like wait for the Hellions or first like make the gas and then build the starport. But this is the bio build, and with the bio build we get the Viking. And we continue the Hellion production of course. And we just continue the SCV production. 2 gas, triple CC, 1-1-1. I didn't build any more Marines. I'm just building the Hellions. And I'm going up to 8 Hellions. I'm also getting a tech lab here. And this is a very crucial timing. So these Hellions are scouting. If you see roaches moving across the map now, you can do many things. For example, you can switch the barracks with the starport. Or you can switch the factory with the barracks. So you can make reactor marines and tanks. And then you probably don't have enough gas to build anything out of the starport, and then you just need like a bunker and reactor marines and tanks against like some kind of roach all-in. In this case, this build is designed to be strong against Ling heavy builds though. If you have trouble against roach pressures, you might want to go into Banshees instead of the Viking and then just get a later stim. In this case my units are Viking and a Liberator because I'm not afraid of roach all-ins. Of course you add depots as soon as you're getting supply blocked, you're pretty much the perfect timing. And then you just create a wall. You leave some units always behind to make sure that Zergling run-bys don't do anything. And now it's the point in time where you start pressuring the Zerg player. So I'm using my Hellions here to just go in, kill some drones, go back. With 4 Hellions it might be risky, but if you have 8 it's not that risky. And I'm also moving out with every Hellion as soon as I complete my wall, which is right around this time. And then I have a Liberator, the Viking pushes back the Overlords, Take a look at his vision. The Viking pushes back all the overlords that are here on this side of the map. So take a look at his vision. He doesn't see anything because he can't put overlords here. He has to put them very defensively, and that's what the Viking is for. So after killing the scouting overlord, you send the Viking all around his base like this. See, all around this base. If he has overlord speed, you're probably not killing many overlords. But especially like around the main base, you can probably get a bunch of overlords. So make sure that you shift click your Viking. But also make sure that you don't go too deep. Like you don't want to shift click it in here where the queens are. In here. That'd be too risky. Or here even. So be a little careful. You can, for example, shift click it like this. First it goes here, then it goes here. And then around the base, then back around this corner like this. So all around the creep where the queens are not really in range. And then you focus on the Hellions. At this point, after 8 Hellions, you also make a reactor with the factory for the next barracks. And you make an additional barracks. 2 additional barracks for the reactors, of course. So then you make a reactor here, and that's how you go into bio. So basically you add 2 barracks, a reactor, you add 2 E-base, you add 2 gas, and you add the starboard reactor. That's basically the build order, which is going to be written down in the description. And you can also have a look at the replay if you want to. It's also in the description to learn more about the build specifically. Now I'm going to move out of my Hellions. And my Hellions are once again going to try and go in there. 8 Hellions is a nice number. We can kill some drones. We don't have to be afraid of Zerglings, unless there are many queens defending them. And at the same time, I'm shift clicking my Liberator somewhere where I don't expect a Spore Crawler. In the meantime, I'm also taking my 3rd base, I'm continuing worker production, I'm getting 1-1. Now the harassment comes into play, the Liberator is doing lots of work, and the Hellions are also trying to get some shots off. You can try and get rid of the Zerglings, but in this case this wasn't a great fight. I could have probably traded better. In the meantime though, you can just go up into Mass Marines and Medevacs. And if you already have enough minerals right now, you want to add 2 barracks. But I'm macroing pretty well, so I don't have any minerals in the bank. And therefore I don't need to get like additional barracks yet, but I'm getting them now. Because the extra income of the gold base is pretty nice. What you also want to get is a 5th gas. A 5th gas is always going to be necessary. So if you're lacking gas a little bit, what I recommend doing is getting another gas. The reason I was lacking gas is mostly this. I lost a lot of gas because I didn't put my worker in here. So I'm taking this one relatively fast. And then I'm also using my Marines for a drop. And then reinforcements defend the run by. I'm getting tanks. So I made a tech lab after the reactor. And I'm just getting reactors on my barracks besides that one tech lab. And now we're just pressuring the Zerg. We're getting supply depots at the wall here. At this point it's basically freestyle, so now the build order ended. You want to go up to like 60 SCVs, 60 plus SCVs. And in this case I'm gonna go up to 8 barracks before I make the 4th command center. Why do I do that? Because I want to really push the Zerg. So I'm just getting mass tank marine out of 8 barracks with a late 4th command center. I'm getting the armory, of course. I'm getting further upgrades, and I just go into the late game that way. So basically you can get mass reactors, or you can just leave them like that. In this case I didn't get any add-ons on my barracks, because I wanted to go up to a 4th command center, and I wanted to put pressure onto the Zerg earlier. Also look at my minerals. So how do you spend your money? Look at my minerals right now. If I get 3 reactors, I don't have any gas anymore. I do have enough medevacs. I have 6 medevacs. I'm even getting 2 more. So that's maybe a little overkill. I'm getting tanks. I do have enough tanks. I'm also building them. But look at this, my upgrades. I'm getting 2-2 now. I'm supposed to get 2-2 at this point. So if I make reactors onto these barracks, I'm not going to have enough money, enough gas to get 2-2 upgrades. And that's why I'm not getting add-ons here. Not only do I get Marines a little faster, it's not better long term, but for like a specific timing it might be better. But also, I have enough gas for my 2-2, and that was the main reason In this case, also what I want to mention is the way you do that is you basically send drops. So you load the first 2 medevacs with Marines, then you drop, then you load the second 2 medevacs, you drop, and then reinforcements will always take care of Zergling runbys. So see this drop, and then you just micro. You try and pick up the units like this, you don't lose them, or like this, and then you just trade. You try and trade here, and then you just pick up. This is ideally what you want to do. Here, look at that. I didn't even realize there was a Zergling runby, but because I have my rally point centered over here, where like my entrance to the natural and to the third base really is, I have enough reinforcements to deal with that, so I can fully focus on my drops. That's always what you want to keep in mind. You have this rally point, you're making Marines out of 8 barracks, you don't get a 4th command center. That means you have so much like money to just, I mean so many units. You always have so many units at home as well. At this point you want to get a 4th command center though. You can get add-ons at some point, and then you can just spam units basically. In this case though, I'm just getting pure Marines out of my barracks, and I'm trying to harass them with my drops here and there. Here I even get rid of overlords, and we're just basically picking them apart at this point. Now, after we dealt enough damage, after we finally dealt enough damage, like to the 4th base and so on, I'm finally gonna put all into one attack, and I'm finally moving out with every one of my units. I should get a 4th command center. I'm always like floating minerals, that's one mistake. But I can basically attack now because we dealt enough damage, and this is how we finish the game. A backup 4th command center you can always get. And if you want to, you can also add another factory. You can get a reactor on it, and you can switch into widow mines. Widow mines are most of the time better in late game. They don't cost a lot of gas. So you can just get drilling claws. You can start making widow mines, second factory. Like tech labs here for Marauder production. That's very good as well. In this case, spamming tank marine is most of the time enough though. And that's exactly what I was doing in this game. I just spammed tank marine and I went for it. If I had more gas, I would have even gotten reactors on my barracks to like have the highest marine production I can possibly have. But in this case, the no add-ons was more than enough. Simply because I was lacking a lot of gas. And that's gonna be game right here, because obviously he can't keep up with the marker anymore. We killed a lot of stuff, and look at the trades. We traded very well, and also the income graph was looking very much in our favor. Yeah, so that's how I was able to beat Cyril in this game. It's a very powerful build. The 3-base timing with 8 barracks is something that you wanna do against Zerg if you feel like in late game you have trouble. This is a very good way to put on pressure. It is actually a very valid play, play style as well. You can do that to avoid like late game scenarios, and even pro game. It's just like a basic macro playstyle, which is very 3-base heavy, very timing based, but that's a lot of times how Terran works. So yeah, look into the description for the full build order, and also make sure to download the replay to have a look at it yourself. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you again in one of my future guides. If you have any questions, just put them in the in the comment section. I'll make sure that I answer the questions. Yes. And make sure to subscribe and leave a like.